good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, and we're back at it with a Black Clover Chapter 331 review. And this is gonna be it's gonna be a minute before we get another review because Black Clover is going on a 3-month hiatus. Now, before we get started, make sure to hit the like, make sure to hit the subscribe with notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video. And so, man, let's get into the review. So there's a lot that's going on here. You know, the chapter, the name is "And the Time Starts to Move." Now, I personally wanted to wait, not wait, but I was waiting for the official translations to come out because words mean things. And so, dissecting this, so many theories. I know when the spoilers dropped, the internet exploded because so many people was talking so much trash about the last couple of chapters. And I'm like, man, you gotta know the art of storytelling. And I get it. One thing that I'm taking into consideration as a writer is how much room there is for this kind of, I wouldn't say in demand, but this quickness as far as like getting certain things happening and it being short. You know what I mean? Like there's room for short series that are really, really dope, but don't need to be like 1,000 chapters or anything like that. And I think that there's of course gonna still be room for this, but when I'm looking at other people's reviews and reactions and what people are saying on Twitter, again, it's not everybody, and it's mainly people in the West. Like, we got some freaking issues, but this is really, really interesting. For one, Knock, comes through and tells like, hey, there's someone that you need to meet, and it's his freaking mother. She's alive, and it looks like she hasn't even aged, and it's been like 16 years, so that in itself makes me question some things. Me personally, I think that there's a lot that's about to be going on, but we're gonna rush through the review. Not rush through, but we'll go through the review, and then we'll talk about my thoughts because there's several thoughts. So Yuno and his mom have a really dope interaction. She goes and embraces him. He's like shocked. The level of like, and, some people were saying like, why isn't he more like, mother, different things like that. But I think there's a reason for it. Like I said, there's something about this that's off. The fact that she is alive still, and not the fact that she's alive per se, because, learning more about Dante and different things like that, but there's just something off about this. So the Spade, resistance, they kneel down to him and they're just all like, yo, can you stay? We need you as the king. We need your power. And his mother goes on to say, there are many things I need to tell you. You may not be able to accept them right away, but, and it's just like, psh, look, I can't speak for the future, but before I can even do that, I got some stuff to do, like my good friend and rival, Asta. And then we transition to Asta on top of the clock in the Spade Kingdom. Now, this may be very, very symbolic for what's about to go on in the future, like super symbolic. But him and Libe are talking, and we find out confirmation that Asta did in fact find out that that was his mother, and that he was happy, that she loved him, and he didn't feel, he didn't feel mad or anything for abandoning him, and Libe's just all like, that's my line, and he thinks Asta. It's like this cute little like Chibe Libe freaking smiling and everything like that, and he tells Asta, now it's my turn to make your dream come true. He's like, yeah. And then it has this really cool panel of Yuno and Belle and Asta and Libe, and then they both saying, I'm gonna become the Wizard King. And that's like a really dope panel, because we have the upper level as far as spirit, more of the heavenly, and then we have as far as the bottom with hell, devils, and everything with Asta and Libe. Then we get to where it says, Asta's like, first I'll have to get everybody to admit you're a good guy, especially that Magic Parliament person with the scales. And Libe is just like, I hate that guy. And then the clock moves. And then it has this really cool panel, Black Clover. Like it was the first couple of freaking, chapters of this joint. And then we're back at the Clover Kingdom. And we see homie with the scales walking, Damnatio walking, and he has kind of just this straight face look, but the way that the shading is just all like, whoo, man, the art style, to be going on a 3-month break and to drop this, there's so much dope details when you like looking through it. But Marx has tells that everything was good, with everything, and Julius is just like, right, good work. And then Julius is sitting there like, I'm relieved that the battle in the Spade Kingdom is over, but something does not feel right, and he goes back to the flashback where he was with Marx, and he's like, what is this indescribable ease? And he was just all like, ever since then, no, even before that. And it's like he almost came to a realization. He's just like, who's that? Damnatio? Lord Julius, I need to speak with you. And he breaks down that, Magicula, like I've been doing research, and Magicula is not as far as one of the original 3 devils in the Cliff-Off. He goes on to say that, there's Lucifero of Gravity, also known as Satan. There's Beelzebub of Spatial Magic, and Ashtaroth of Time. And then there's kind of like this inner monologue with Damnatio. He's like, I'm not certain of this. Please tell me I'm wrong. He goes on to saying, wow, this may be a coincidence in all of this world's history. And as far as I can tell, there's only been a single time user. Then it goes back to his inner dialogue, Damnatio's inner dialogue. The devil who's made its lair in this kingdom. And then we get this really interesting couple of panels where Julius is like, I see, then it really is. And in between, you have like the Cliff-Off with William and Yami. Then we have as far as a time where, Julius had met Yami, met William. This panel as far as with Morgan, and we get the whole Knox situation. Then we get as far as specifically the panel with Patry, when he was going against Patry, and he was just all like, I never would have thought a person with 2 souls. And he's like, so it's you but not you. And then Julius has this face, oh man, oh my god, his face, he's just all like, then it really is me. And then Damnatio's like, tell me it isn't you. And he looks like, and then Julius gets up and he's like, Damnatio, hurry, don't let me. And then this crazy like runes or something, goes over him. And then we see as far as the pages of his grimoire flip, and then he's like the same size as Damnatio and taps him on the forehead. And he's like, you didn't want it to be true, And then we see the grimoire again, and this time it starts to have a cover, and then it's like final art, and then we see the spade grimoire, double spade on that joint, one going up, one going down, and then at the same time Adramelic comes through the window. It looks like Damnation is on the ground. We still see his grimoire. Adramelic says, "Hey there, it went basically the way you said it would. Lucius the Granite." And then he's like, "Yes, the time has come." And it says, "The ultimate wizard king." And oh my goodness. Okay, so now I want to break down several things because I like being able to, clip these out for shorts and whatnot. This was insane. I know people are gonna be coming up with all types of theories, and I think that's what's super fun, being able to just think of these theories. So I'm trying to think of different things that I want to talk about as I hope these 3 months fly by, because I'm just all like, yo, are you gonna leave us like this? So before I get into my predictions of 332, let's go ahead and break down a couple of things in regards to this chapter. So this is such a great, from chapter 1 through 331. Oh, this is so dope. Man, this is so dope. Okay, so for one, we're in the final arc. Now, it doesn't mean it's gonna be done pretty much anytime soon. We probably still got a cool 2+ years to go. Probably way more than that, but this is why Black Clover is dope. So my big thing here is, so I think that there is something shady going on with the spade as well as Knocked. And I think because there's still the exhibition, the Black Clover exhibition, and with as far as certain things that have transpired, I feel like in regards to Knock's origin and where his particular name came from and everything like that, the origin with Knock Frost, I think that, and especially with this quantum chess move that Lucius Socrates was freaking doing, it wouldn't surprise me if this was not YUNO'S mother. Because even though it's not in YUNO'S personality to be all crazy or anything like that, for some reason I feel like, unless she might have been frozen in time or something like that, I feel like there's still several things going on that is just all like, there's something going on with the Spade Kingdom and everything in regards to YUNO. Now, another thing to take into consideration is we have all this spade stuff going on, and of course, YUNO being next up as far as the king and things like that. YUNO, we got the land of the devils and everything like that. YUNO still has a 4-leaf grimoire. I wouldn't be surprised if there's still some things in regard to that. Now, thankfully, he still got his grimoire, as far as from the Spade Kingdom, but I feel like there's still some extra stuff that's about to go down. And this is just me kind of just going off the head. I might break some of these down into full-fledged videos, but I think that Lucius is using YUNO'S mother to keep YUNO there and to bring him into despair so that way he can get his grimoire. It was interesting. Remember, Lucifero was just all like, We don't know if it was because of Zora's grimoire or just the grimoire in general, because everyone was having grimoires, so it's just like, why was he specifically as far as noticing it with Zora? But I feel like with the combination of Lucifero's heart and YUNO'S 4-leaf grimoire turning into a 5-leaf grimoire, there might be some interesting stuff with that, because the way that, of course, they're just all like, they don't have anybody to rule, so of course, with just displaying what he did, it makes sense that they would act this way. But there's just something that seems a little bit off, and the fact that, of course, I'm not blaming Noct for not telling I think that it's just all like, we're in the middle of a war, all these different things, and Noct, even with the introduction of Noct, and even homie that came to go find I feel like there's just a lot that's going on there. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is just almost like, I feel like this is going to be a foreshadow. Asta standing triumphant over the clock or the time user or different things like that. And I feel like there's something that's going down, I feel like, with the build up with Asta and because there's been a pattern of tragic rivalry, sacrifice through these. We see what happened with Zenon and Alan. We see what happened with the first Wizard King, Lumiere and Lick. We see what happened as far as with the 2 royals that turned into ancient demons. There's an underlining theme that keeps on being built up here. So I feel like, there might be some things. I'm thinking of, if I were to just take a look at where everything's going with this next arc and with this particular reveal, I feel like this is leading to almost like a Naruto and Sasuke moment. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen the series of the anime. I hope you do. But at the end of the war, Sasuke still had, business to do with Naruto. And so it's just all like, I feel like there's gonna be this build up. They beat Lucius the Grass, different things like that. But I feel like it might suck, but there's a few ways that it could go. It's a happy ending. Asa becomes the Wizard King. Becomes a Wizard King of the Spade, or just a king in general, different things like that. It could be that at the end of this, there's one rule, everybody's joined forces under one kingdom, ruled by Asta and maybe. Or there might be a super backstabbing that goes down, and it could be built up to this tragic showdown between Asta and whether turns into a devil or different things like that, or Asta turns into something that he can't control and has no choice. And I feel like within that, Libe might actually be the one to perish instead of Asta, type of thing. And there's a couple of things that could go with that, but I don't want to go too much into this. This is just like a review. When it comes to Julius, do I think Julius has this whole two soul situation like Patri, there's a possibility. And if so, was this a transfer of soul after death? So did Lucius Zagratis at some point in time legit die and made it to where his soul would be in a time user or something like that, because he found out that one did exist and he can then be able to, you know, have Astaroth. There's also a lot to talk about in regards to Astaroth and his own being kind of like a good guy basically. So would Astaroth be Asta's father? There was a shout out to Nero Mega Man, because he did a video on this, but he was just all like, what if Lucius Zagratis is doing this for love? Like, he actually loved Lasita or something like that, and he's trying to like bring her back to life. And I was like, that's dope. I was like, but what if it was actually for his mother instead? Because there is a consistency in regards to mothers that died or supposedly died and different things like that. And what if, because we don't know the Zagratis siblings' parents, so what if he's doing all of this devil everything to bring back his mother? That could be a possibility. As I said, the possibilities are endless, and I think that with the way that Julius is acting, I personally think there could be a two soul situation that's going on, because it wouldn't be the first. Why did he think they keep on bringing up certain things? They had the whole elf arc. You had the whole situation with YUNO having a conversation with the other soul, which is Lick's, you know, unborn child soul. And he's been using that magic the whole entire time and didn't even use his innate passed down magic of the royal because he didn't have his spade grimoire. So it's not like it would be impossible. I think where it mainly goes to think about is at what point in time, like what is actually going on. And I think that that's kind of where I think 332 is gonna go down. I think that there's gonna be actually a clearing maybe of Asta's name, and it may seem like a good thing, but there's gonna be some other 3D chess stuff that's going on with it. So I'm hyped, guys. What do y'all think of this chapter? Let me know in the comment section. Again, this is Miscomposition MC that writes fiction. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a video. Y'all, we get out there. Peace.
Ready for the return to fall. Maybe I should be asleep, but these full moon vibes got me in the deep. Emotional roller coaster strapped in my seat, ready for a trip to find what I seek. Passing through the galaxy into my office, translating thoughts into deep science. Got the sun in my pocket, building resilience. So when the next winter cycle comes, I prepare with no losses. The work of the soloists of boss. At the heart of my winter, there's an invincible summer. Invincible summer. Too strong, too strong. Yo, I thought I was a goner. At the heart of my winter, there's an invincible summer.